Hi everyone, how are you? Let me know how we are sound-wise. Make sure everything's good. Everybody can see, everybody can hear, it's all good. Hello everyone, how are you? Hi Dawn, hi Cece, hi Linda, Michelle, Kim, good morning everyone. Hang on, I'm just gonna make a quick adjustment here. 1 second, I know that's probably kind of loud for you. I'm just repositioning. Okay. There we go. All right, that should be good. Good morning, everyone. Durbin, good morning. All right, well, we are here, and do I have stories for you? It's something I was keeping from Steve, but now the cat is out of the bag, so I can actually tell you guys. But first things first, let's see. It's good here? Okay, cool. All right, well, let's just jump straight in because I don't really have any major announcements, mostly just story times. Last time we were here, we were working on the bottom of the track and the dirt and the rocks. I know I said I was going to try to work on it, but there has not been time, and you will find out why here shortly. Got my coffee this morning. All right, first things first, what are we going to work on today? I'm thinking foliage, because we have like a lot of this we haven't touched. We also have, what if we do this, like this section here, back of the train and the foliage. So we have got our pencils that we used last time, but we're actually not gonna use a lot of the grays, maybe some, but we're actually gonna use some greens today, probably some reds, because I don't wanna just do all green plants. We'll definitely use some black. And if you guys missed it, we are doing the Magical Earth Mythographic book, and we are using the Star Joy Gold. So let's pick our colors first. Definitely, let's see, we're gonna do hemlock. Let's see, get our little chart here. Hi Mona, how are you? All right, so we're gonna get hemlock, which is next to the winter green. Yes. Let's see, yes, hemlock, and then, because we're gonna do a few variations on greens. So we'll get green, because that's just straight up green, that's normal color. So hemlock, green, ooh, alien green, I don't think we've used that yet. Let's pull it out, why not? Let's roll with it. Okay, alien green, let's see, we'll get avocado. Let's get Misty Morning. Hi Angela, how are you? Let's see, Misty Morning, definitely Pale Sage. I swear, I love a good Pale Sage in any set. Definitely some Spring Leaf. Hi, B, how are you? Let's see, Spring Leaf is number 26. I think that's on the other side, maybe? Easter Green, Grasshopper, Apple, oh, Spring Leaf. Much darker barrel than I anticipated. Let's see, we'll get Lori Green, of course, and I feel like we just need to grab all the greens. That's Grasshopper, Pickle, why not? Let's snag Pickle, but not, you know, our Pickle, because that would be weird. Just yoinker, straight from the UK. Let's see, Easter Grass, yes. Yeah, you know what? We're just basically grabbing everything. all the greens. Let's see, let's also do trying to decide. Yeah, let's get spearmint. If I missed anyone on, I apologize. Let's see, razzleberry, definitely that razzleberry, and let's get barbecue. And that is going to be number 99. That one's next to Georgia Peach and Burnt Ochre. Let's see, barbecue. And then, of course, we'll have black. And let's also get midnight. There we go. All right. Well, we've got our colors. So, you know, I've been mentioning that I've been pretty busy lately. I haven't really said what, just a general busy. And here's the thing. I didn't really tell Steve either, or the kids. There were only a few people that knew, because this has been a plan in the works for ages. Now, hi Dee. If you know Steve at all, you know he doesn't like to make a fuss most of the time. If there's something he wants, he doesn't really ask for it, or something he wants to do. Like he's a very humble guy. And as you know, this weekend is Mother's Day, and as you know, Steve has now finished his PhD. So his mother and I got together couple months ago, a few months ago. It's been months in the planning. And she suggested, hey, why don't I fly out there and surprise him? And I was like, sure. Now, Steve is an incredibly hard person to surprise or to fool or to just, you know, any kind of surprise. It just takes a lot to where he doesn't figure it out. There have been a handful of times since we've been together that I have, been successful. And I'm gonna tell you right now, this was one of them. So she and I have been gosh, I'm getting the worst light glare with these pencils. Like, pencils don't always have this kind of like sheen. Maybe I'm just gonna turn that off. But yeah, we'll just leave that off. But it really does with these pencils. I don't know if it's just because they're oil-based or what. Hi, Mercy. So let's see. Let's grab our colors first, and we'll color while I talk. Let's actually work on this leaf down here. Good morning, Trey. But yeah, so she and I have been working on this for months. So much so, like, I've been doing a lot of cleaning this week, as you do when you have someone come over. You want to make sure everything is, you know, tip-top, counters clean, you know, showers ready to go. Not that they're not usually, but you know what I mean? Like, right, Kim? I mean, how many people do you know that don't clean their house before they have someone come and stay? Like, it's just what you do. So I've been having to, like, we live here, so he's gonna be, you know, he's like, what's the deal? Why are you, you know, because it is really hard to keep a room clean when you have children. I've always said that trying to keep a room clean after you've cleaned it when you have children is like trying to stop rain with a bucket. And it's not very successful. You may, all right, Angela, you may do all the dishes, but as soon as dinner's done, you look at the kitchen, you're like, didn't I just do all of these? Where did these all come from? Okay, let's start with Lori Green. So it's been a bit of a chore to keep up on it, but also not let anyone know why Mama is insisting. Same applies to having pets, exactly. Why Mama is insisting on, hey, you guys, I just cleaned up the living room. Can you please, you know, put your shoes away? Maybe don't drop your school backpack straight in the middle of the floor. So, you know, it's a chore in and of itself. So, and that's the other thing with Mother's Day coming. I told Steve, usually he'll order his mom something for Mother's Day. But I told Steve, I was like, hey, why don't I take care of the gift this year? Because here's the thing. If he had ordered her a gift and sent it, she would be here for Mother's Day and her gift would be there. And I was like, well, that's not going to work. So I told Steve I was going to take charge of Mother's Day gifts. And as far as he knew, I very successfully put said package in the mail. And I definitely didn't squirrel it away in a hidden suitcase and then pretended. Actually, no, you know what? Because he never actually double checked that I sent it. I just never brought it up, which is great because he knows that I wouldn't forget something like that. So I was like, okay, this works. So, you know, I squirreled away the Mother's Day gift, insisted on the kids like, hey, you need to make your cards. I need to get this in the mail because I had to keep up the pretense, right? So anyway, squirreled away the Mother's Day gifts. It was really hard to, you know, I wanted to make sure all the linens were clean and everything was good to go. Mother-in-law likes to drink half and half with her coffee, so I may have hidden a little container half and half back in the back of the fridge. Not that, like, our fridge isn't jam-packed. Like, I literally just cleaned it out last week, but you know, we don't usually get half and half. Like, we'll get heavy cream and creamer and like stuff, but you know, a half and half randomly in the fridge. So I like tucked it behind the eggs so he couldn't see it. But there's been like so many little things, and it's not just him. The kids didn't know either. The kids didn't know either up until they saw her, and that was the hardest part. I won't get into it now, but little Emily had a really rough week at school this week, and with their grandparents having just visited a few weeks ago, you know, they were really sad when they left, and I really wanted to say, oh, it's okay, you'll get to see your other Nana in a couple weeks, but I didn't say that. Like, we've been working on this for months, and I'm like, I can't do that. I need to just, you know, I mean, you guys know how much I like to talk. That being said, live streaming has definitely taught me to think before I speak. And yes, I do that sometimes. But it really made me just kind of you know, just keep myself in check a little bit. And it's so hard because I tell Steve everything, right? Especially like if there's something big going on, that's usually, you know, what we're discussing a lot. And so it was really, really hard for me not to spoil the whole thing. So fast forward to everything's in place. Fast forward to yesterday, everything's in place. I cleaned up the last few minute things, you know, scoop the kitty litter as they do. So scoop the kitty litter, a couple other things, make sure everything was squared away. And little Emily needed to come with me yesterday. So we had to drive to Austin, which is close-ish. It's closer than I've ever lived to any airport, but it was still a little bit of a drive. So when I got her, I told her, because again, at this point, she didn't know either. My parents knew, and a friend of mine that lives in another town over, she knew. But aside from that, and my mother-in-law, we were the only ones that knew. Somehow I was able to keep it under wraps. I almost told you guys a few times, but I was like, oh, if Steve is listening, that might ruin the surprise. So yeah, we fast forward to yesterday. Little Emily's with me, and I told her, I was like, all right, so we're going to go on a bit of adventure. And this is where I really had to, like, I felt guilty doing it because it's just not in my nature. Like I said, Steve and I, we tell each other everything, right? But we also have map trackers on our phone, which is good because, you know, we know where the kids are at all times. You know, we know where each other are. Like, it's just a thing we keep on. So I got her, and I told her, I was like, okay, so here's the deal. We're going on an adventure, because I couldn't tell her exactly what we were doing yet either. But to go on this adventure, we can't tell Daddy, which again goes against all the norm, because I never tell my kids, oh, don't tell Daddy this, because we tell each other everything. So it's not a thing. So I was like, okay, we can't tell Daddy, and we have to keep it a secret. And I'm going to tell you right now, if Steve had looked on the maps and saw that we were in Austin at the airport, he might have been like, you good? You booking it? Did you finally decide to, you know, he'd be very confused. So I had to turn off the map on both her and I's phone. And off we went. I had spoken with Steve right before we left, and I said, well, hey, you know, I got little Emily. We're going to go run some errands. So as far as he knew, right, seriously, as far as he knew, we were just running errands. So I turned off our maps, and we drove to the airport, which again, I won't say exactly how far. Emily has left the building, state, and country, right? So it was a little bit of a drive, but enough that, you know, we could make it there and back by the time it was to pick little Steve up from school. So anyway, we're going, and she of course is like, what are we doing? Like, 'cause her allergies have, they flare up, get real bad and everything. So she was just like, I kind of just want to go home. And I was just like, okay, look, this was something I was normally going to do, you know, on my own, but I have you with me. So I need you to, be a part of this, be my partner in crime here. Okay. So this was Lori Green, and let's do Grasshopper. So she's, you know, quizzing me the whole time as we're going, because she's just like, what on earth, like, are we doing? And so she's just like, you know, is it, or do I know this person? Because I had already told her, like, I can't tell you. I told her, like, we're going to the airport to pick someone up, but you can't know who. And she's just like, I'm sorry, what? Because she was afraid. She's like, you're not picking up one of my friends, are you? Because she was so sneezy that day from her allergies, right? A little bit. She was so sneezy on her allergies. She's like, I don't want to see my friends like this. And I'm like, okay, it's not one of your friends. And she's like, was it for Daddy? I was like, yeah, it's one of Daddy's friends. To be fair, that's not a lie. He is friends with his mother. So, you know, she really did. She really did. So, you know, she kept asking questions. She's like, do I know this person? I was like, yeah, you know them. And so when we got there, mother-in-law had a layover in Denver. And so if I told little Emily where the plane was coming from the beginning, she would have guessed it. But I was, when we got to the airport, I was just like, okay, so we need to go to such and such a baggage claim. We're looking for this flight. They're coming in from Denver. And she's like, who do we know in Denver? She said a friend. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. I was like, it's just a friend. She's like, who do we know in Denver? I'm like, oh, someone, because technically she was in Denver and I do know people in Denver. So again, I just omitted certain extensions of the explanation. So we actually timed it perfectly. We got there within 10 minutes of her coming down to baggage claim. And so I told her, I was like, hey, text me when you're at the top of the escalator, because I wanted to film it. And I'm going to fast forward real quick. When I went to film Steve's reaction, I fudged up the button, unsurprisingly, and I did not get his original reaction on film. I was so mad at myself. They did a reenactment, but it's not the same. It's not the same. I wanted to relive the moment. Anyway, so, you know, I have the camera on, and at this point, little Emily still doesn't know, you know, who it is. And, you know, the escalator's a little bit far away. Hi, Jeanette. So, of course, I get on the camera, and, you know, little Emily's looking, and then I hear her stuff. I know, Angela. I was like, no. But the funny thing is they reenacted a bit, and so, you know, we got a thing. But, you know, I digress. I move on. It's not like the surprise itself was ruined. Yes, he was very surprised. So anyway, little Emily's mouth just drops and she's jumping down in excitement, waiting for the escalator to come down, and of course gives her a big hug. So at that point, we filled little Emily in on everything. Like I said, I kept this a secret from everyone that lives in this house. So, anyway, so, we pick her up, and of course we chat and everything. It's a little bit of a drive back, but we make it back in time for me to drop little Emily and mother-in-law at the house, because by this time, mother-in-law had been traveling. By the time we all went to bed last night, like, it was a really long day. Her flight left really early, so they had to get up really early. Oh, Angela, it was so hard. It was so hard. It was so difficult. So anyway, so we go ahead. I drop little Emily off and mother-in-law, you know, so she can rest, refresh, get a snack, whatever else. And it gives me just enough time to turn around and go get in line to go wait for little Steve to pick him up from school. And again, he has no clue whatsoever. So I go and pick him up, you know, things as normal. We saw her last summer. And actually we are going to be going to see her again. But, you know, it's what, 9 months or so? And before that, like, it had been even longer, but he doesn't usually get to see her twice in a year. It's usually about once a year. So I pick him up, business as normal, you know, ask him like, oh, hey, how was your day at school? Yes, very much so. Well, and Steve is an only child. So for mother-in-law, these are her only grandchildren. So it's a really special time when they get to spend time together. They're actually downstairs right now playing games and everything. But yeah, so I get little Steve and you know, little Emily and mother-in-law, you know, they're back at the house waiting. So I get little Steve and, you know, business as usual. How was school? We get home and I wanted to go in the door first so I could do the filming. Hi, Kara. Which I got both the kids' reactions. It was great, but this whole thing. Anyway, so, you know, mother-in-law, she hid around the corner, and little Steve was saying something, and he was talking as he walked in, and when he walked in, he literally stopped mid-sentence. His jaw dropped open, and I told my mother, I'm like, expect a really high-pitched what, a squeal, and then a giant bear hug, and all of those things happened in that sequence. So he was thoroughly shocked and surprised, and just like they've been over the moon. They were so excited yesterday because little Steve also had like a year-end concert performance thing they were doing. Let's see, Easter grass. Do I want to do Easter grass? Yeah, Easter grass. We did grasshopper. No, let's do lemon chartreuse. Oh wait, I didn't grab that. right? Like they were all so blown away. And it was kind of great because they each got their own separate time to kind of react to her. You know, it wasn't like everybody was trying to get, you know, her attention, but they were so amped up and wired last night after all of this. But she got to go to his performance and everything, which isn't something she really ever gets to do because, you know, we live in different states. So anyway, so after I dropped little Steve off, I had just enough time to kind of refresh myself because by this point, I've been driving back and forth in the car since like noon. And at this point, it's like 3:30 or so. And it was a lot. Hi, Kitty. So I'm like, all right, well, since mother-in-law's here, sorry, when I'm pausing, it's because I'm not used to talking about her and I'm trying to be careful not to slip any names. When I tell a big story about the family, I have to keep myself in check a little bit. But anyway, I was like, okay, well, little Steve will stay here while I go get him, which doesn't usually happen. It's only been once or twice when we've given little Emily a practice babysitting round. But, you know, mother-in-law was here, so I was like, okay, cool, I'll just go get Steve by myself. And so when I went to go get Steve, he was just like, oh, where's little Steve? I was like, oh, well, little Emily, you know, little Steve's got his thing. He wanted to have a snack, so little Emily offered to babysit him, which was not the case. So anyway, I pick up Steve and, you know, we chat as normal. We've got, you know, other life stuff going on. So, you know, we're just carrying on conversation like it's normal. Let's see, let's get Razzleberry. And so we get home and he told me later he was wondering why I was rushing into the house. Not that it made a difference because I didn't hit the right button. Seriously, this week is not the week for tech for me, I swear. Anyway, so, you know, I jump into the house before do I want Razzleberry? Actually, I'm going to get red wine. I get into the house before he does, you know, to film it or whatever. And she's hiding again. And he comes in and she walks around the corner and he just like stops and he like smiles like he's like, wait, like what is happening here? And so, of course, you know, lots of hugs, lots of very big hugs. And, you know, Steve, he gets emotional to a point, but I knew that this was going to be special for him. And so he just had a very, very contented look on his face. And he was very happy, lots of hugs. But and it was hilarious because afterwards, when we were talking, like it was all clicking into place, he's like, oh, she can go to little Steve's performance. I'm like, I know. And he's like, oh, she'll be here for Mother's Day. I'm like, I know. Right? It's been all of this. And then he's just like, wait, where's she going to sleep? Do we have any clean sheets? I'm like, I got this. Like, I got this all squared away. And he's like, Mother's Day. I'm like, the gift is upstairs. Like all these things that he's suddenly like worried about and panicking about. I'm like, no, I got you. And he's like, well, what about meals? I'm like, no, I already have it planned. There was all of this stuff. Let's see, we're using red wine. So my busyness lately that I haven't been able to chat about on stream has just mostly kind of been preparing for this, but it just caught him really off guard. And I knew that it was gonna mean a lot to him. So it's not a super long visit. Unfortunately, but we're going to see her again in a couple months when we, you know, do the summer trip. So, so she'll be here until Tuesday. And so we'll take her to the airport Tuesday morning. But it's few days they'll get to, right? It really is. Well, and that's the thing is she hasn't been here before. She doesn't actually, which is why I think maybe he didn't suspect anything. She doesn't come to Texas too often. Part of it is the heat, the humidity. She's lived her whole life in an area where there's not all of this heat and humidity. And it's rather uncomfortable, especially going from, you know, it's where she was coming from is a massive difference. So usually we go there. Right, exactly. He really is. For make it such a special memory for him. Yes, exactly. Oh, and I've been taking pictures out the wazoo. If I shared pictures online, I'd show you guys the videos right now. But so we're gonna take her where the kids like to go swimming at the river, and you know, she's gonna get to see where he works. We'll take her around town, you know, all the fun stuff that that we like to do. But yeah, so this is the first time she had been to our house, seen our neighborhood, kind of seen, you know, the town where we live. So yeah, so needless to say, it was successful. He was thoroughly surprised, couldn't, you know, and of course it's all clicking into place afterwards. And he's just like, because for the weeks before I was kind of, not manipulating, but gently suggesting maybe some adjustments to his work schedule to, you know, make it work around this time. It's like, man, you should really take some time off on you know, it'd be great Mother's Day weekend. You know, you've been working so hard. You should. Now he's had some things come up at work that he can't necessarily skip, but essentially, I've been moving him in the direction that I needed him to go to to make it work for this trip. So yeah, I've just been subtly dropping hints, but like I said, it was all clicking into place. Now he's like, well, that explains why you were so, because like, it's, again, you know, we have kids. It's hard to keep things clean all the time. You know, they put stuff in the living room, you know, lots of dishes in the sink or whatever. It's just not practical to keep up with it every minute of the day. But for the last 3 days, I have been. And so he's just like, oh, that explains why you were so like, hey guys, I want to keep this clean. And, you know, because I was just saying like, oh, it'll be a nice Mother's Day weekend. You know, we can relax. We won't have to do really any chores. Like, it'll be great. But he's just like, this all makes sense now. Because I told him, the funny thing is he was so busy at work yesterday, he didn't even have time to look like at his, you know, at his maps to see what we were up to, or because also when we pulled up to the house, we have a doorbell camera before I pulled the car up, because if he had happened to look when it went off, he could have easily seen that there was one more person in the vehicle that is not usually in the vehicle. So before we even pulled up to the house, I pulled over real quick and just completely turned off the camera. I know, right, Angela? Seriously. Well, it's not even, it was like normal housework. It was like every day, constant. I'm trying to keep everything clean, vacuuming multiple times. Like, it's just what you do when you have, again, it's not that the house was messy, but like I am trying to keep clutter from accumulating, right? Making sure the litter box is perfectly clean and like all that kind of stuff, because no one wants to come over to a house where, you know, there's stuff all over. Well, maybe someone does. For me, when I have people over, I try not to have stuff on the floor, you know, a fresh litter box, like all of this stuff. But yeah, but he, you know, after, you know, everybody was headed to bed and everything, you know, he's just like, yeah, you got me. Well, and that's the funny thing, Angela, is because I've been trying to keep the house clean all week, and I've just been cleaning more, and, you know, I roped the kids in for a few chores because that's a lot of chores to do on my own. And it's, again, it's not like the place was messy. It's just the constant upkeep of making sure, because the kids have a tendency that when they get home from school, they'll drop everything literally in the middle, in the pathway, in the middle of the floor in the living room. I'm like, guys, can we please just, you know? But a few days ago, when I was initially starting, you know, like a lot of the you know, cleaning the baseboards and, you know, the deep cleaning or whatever. Yeah, that's exactly it, Dee. So I'm going to use hemlock. You know, little Emily was just like, are we having someone over? And this was like 3 days ago. And I was like, no, which was kind of, we weren't having anyone over that day, if that counts. There was a, yes, it was lying, but it was for a good cause. It was lying by omission. But again, how else are you supposed, yes, exactly, Mom, like, how else are you supposed to be able to surprise it? Because he's so good at catching on to things. Like for Christmas, like the few times that I've got him, Christmas a few years ago, it was something he wanted. Exactly. Why are you cleaning, Mom? So I don't have to do it on my day off. Exactly. So a few years ago, he is the kind of guy that is so practical. And you know, those of you that have been around here for a while have probably already heard this story, but he's so practical, and he will not make any big purchases for himself, unless, you know, it's extra income or it's something he really needs or whatever. So without encouragement from me, he won't really spend a lot of money on himself. And so he's always really wanted a dual monitor setup, which I do have because it's a lot easier with the streaming. So like, here, my buttons aren't working today, so we're gonna click. Not that it's a bad thing, because, but anyway, so I'm gonna use my fingers so you can wait. So I have a screen here, and then I have one here. And so I've usually got like the streaming program up here and then YouTube over here. So I've got two, and he wanted one, but he would never get one for himself. So what I did for Christmas one year, right? They're so handy. Absolutely. So what I did is my Amazon gift cards that I get when people use my links and stuff. So you'll get, you know, every month, depending on how many times, you know, people use your links, you get a little gift card. And mine will range anywhere from, if it's less than $10, like it has to be a minimum of $10 for it to pay out. So mine average, depending, usually I get a little bit more at Christmas time because that's when people are purchasing like a lot of gifts and everything. So mine will average anywhere from around like $15. I think the highest I've had was like $45, and that was a lot. So for that year, for about 6 or 8 months, I saved all of those gift cards, because once you apply it to your account, like even if you have a subscribe and save, it will take it from that gift card. And so I specifically didn't redeem any of them, and I just saved them all until I had enough. And in fact, I had, hang on one second. I had a little notebook that I was keeping track. Do you ever watch, or have you ever watched the original Angela Lansbury, Mrs. Eris Goes to Paris? Also, if you haven't, love that movie so much. But the premise is she's a housekeeper for a woman who has a Dior dress. Now, Mrs. Eris has no place to wear something like a Dior dress, but it's something that she wants. Her husband has since passed on, and she really just wants something nice for herself, not even to really wear it anywhere, but just to have. So in the movie, she's picking up extra shifts, she's not taking the bus, she's just scrimping and saving and all of this until she finally has enough, but she keeps track of everything that she has in a little book, like you would, you know, with old school bookkeeping before, you know, we had computers to help all of that with us. And so that's what I did, is I had a secret notebook where I kept track of because usually when you get the gift card, it's like, if I were to get one this month, it would be for like the links that were used a couple months before. Hi, Della. So basically what I did is I kept a list of the gift cards I actually had, and then the projected gift cards, so that I could math out to see, will I have enough by Christmas time? So anyway, I did. I saved them all up, and I was able to get him his monitor without, like, I could have used the bank, you know, I could have used we had it to get it, but that wasn't the point. The point was he won't want to spend that kind of money on himself. And so it was even more of a surprise because he never saw some sort of big chunk of money come out of the bank account. It was all a secret. So I got him a second monitor for Christmas, and he was thoroughly surprised by that. All right, let's get Warm Gray 3. So that was one time that I got him. Oh, fun, Jeanette. Oh, but everybody's is different. I've been really enjoying, I made a sun catcher, and I got some more like kind of rainbowy beads. So when I have a little bit more time next week, I want to go ahead and make those. But the other time, it started out as he thought he had figured it out, but then he got confused again. So I count that one. So when Steve has some free time, which now that he's done with his PhD, because he doesn't have the kind of job where he brings it home with him. Once he's home, like he's home with the job. Let's see. So we're going to use Warm Gray 3 now. So, but when he has some free time and he plays with his friends, but they like to do, oh, sounds good, Angela. Thanks for being here. They like to do D&D and Magic and just basically, you know, a lot of nerdy games. But there was this kind of vinyl mat that would make his gameplay, you know, much easier. It's basically, it's something that he wanted. So I ended up getting it for him for Christmas last year. But when the box came, because it's a big vinyl mat, like it's probably the size of my desk, and so it was rolled up. So when it came, it was in this long, you know, not a cylinder, but a long, you know, a real long rectangle. Anyway, but he saw the box before I could square it away, and he's like, "Oh, you got me for something, you know, you got me this thing," and I was like, "No, I didn't." Of course, that was a full-blown lie. But because I knew that he was onto us already, what I did is I added pieces of cardboard. Dungeon Crawler Carl. Like, he usually knows most of these things before I do, but I will write that down and tell him about it. Let's see. Dungeon Crawler Carl. Okay, cool. Is he on like Instagram or YouTube or TikTok? So what I did is I took like, I had an empty wrapping paper tube. It was like one of the real thick ones. So I like cut pieces of that. I added cardboard onto it. By the time I was done, you wouldn't know if it was a scooter or a pogo stick or whatever. Like, I created this wrapped sculpture masterpiece out of cardboard. So when we gave it to him and set it in his lap, like, he's like, "You sure this isn't for like the kids?" Like, he was thoroughly confused. And then of course, when he opened, he was like, "Oh, I knew it." But I definitely had him confused with that particular shape of package. So I count that one. Hi, Christina. But this one was definitely another good one. Again, I will kick myself forever that I pushed the wrong button. I've got like 2 seconds of his laugh afterwards, and then, you know, we reenacted it. Where his mom's like, "Okay, wait. Let's get back. Let's get back into position." So he went back out into the garage. And she went back in the hallway. And so I was just like, "Boy, I sure hope Steve doesn't walk in and see this surprise." And as he's walking in, he's like, "Boy, I had such a hard day. I wish I could see my mom." And oh, what a surprise. It was just... But the hug that he gave her at the end of our reenactment was a very genuine. Like, I know him, I know the faces he makes, and it meant a lot to him that she was here. So when I've said I've been busy because it's been planning and prepping, but I couldn't say anything, I basically gave myself a little NDA. I couldn't say anything because he would know. Hi, Marilyn. But I loved that I was able to keep it from not only him, but the kids too. And they each got surprised separately, and they were all just, yeah, it was super fun. And yeah, I probably won't ever be able to do something like that again. You know what I need? No, you know what I need to do to like throw them off the track? Every couple of months, cause like I said, it's not that the house is messy. We keep it clean, but it's really hard to keep it constantly clean. You know what I mean? Like, who wants to do a full deep clean after every breakfast, lunch, and dinner? I don't know anybody. Like, raise a hands in chat if you currently have dirty dishes in your sink. Me, I do. I'm doing dishes after stream. But, you know, like, unless you've got a housekeeper and no kids and you live by yourself, it is nearly impossible, right? Yes, everybody's got dirty dishes, right? But here's what I need to do. There we go, there's all the hand soap. Every couple of months, I just need to go into like a mad deep clean for like 3 or 4 days, right? And just like, for no apparent reason, just to throw him off the scent. Okay, so we're starting with midnight here. That way, he'll never know. It'll be like the girl, you know, boy who cried wolf. It'll be the girl who cried chores. But yeah, the kids were incredibly shocked and so happy to see them or see her. And so yeah, lots of games and just kind of hanging out. Steve has the car today, so we're staying at the house and just kind of hanging out. Kids are going to spend some quality time with their Nana. And yeah, I know. I need to look up what's wrong. I didn't have time between now and the last stream because I pulled it up today And I was just like, why isn't this working? So, yeah, just bear with. I haven't even had time to get to Screamed. Right. I haven't even had a chance to get to updating the squares yet. Like I said, this last week I have been just a mad woman trying to get this all prepped. But next week we have a heck of a lot less. So before our stream on Wednesday, I will sit down and go through the bot and see, you know, what's wrong with it, and see if I need to reinitialize it, if, you know, it's a coding issue or whatever else. So, yeah, we'll just put a pin in it for today, and then I will take a look at it this weekend. While we're talking about tech stuff, how's the sound today? I know it's better than the Yeti, and obviously since the other mic is broke, it's better than that. So how is the audio today? Can you guys hear it okay? Sound is really good? Okay, because so I told you that I was going to talk to Steve about it, and I explained him the situation. You know, Paul can't tell the volume low. That's fair. You know, I showed him the cord, and I was like, hey, you know, Paul made a snack of my mic. And the brand that I was using for the mic, it's called Rode. It's actually a really good mic brand. The cord on this is supposed to be Kevlar, but there was a perfect cat-shaped bite taken out of it. And so after stream yesterday, I told Steve, I was like, hey, the mic finally went out. And it's not that the Yeti isn't a bad mic, it just doesn't work well. If I was a gamer and not moving my head around or anything, it would work fine. But I'm not, and I move around and, you know, all different volumes and everything. So anyway, we had a conversation. Aw, thank you, Yuna. We had a conversation and I explained to him. And so, look how fancy it is. It's the one I wanted. He surprised me with it. He came down because I had it on a wish list and I was telling him about it. So I showed him which one and he came down, I guess it would have been not yesterday, but the day before. And he's like, so your new mic will be here tomorrow. And I was just like, you didn't have to do that. Like, you didn't have to do it straight away. And he's like, it's a work expense. It makes it, because since I do make a certain level of income from this, you know, we do our taxes at the end and everything, and you can do things like this with a business expense. It's technically a write-off. Right, right. He surprised me. I surprised him. But it's really nice. And here, I'm going to unclip it here so I can show you. But this is what it is. I need to add it to my tech list of stuff that I'm using. But it's got, you know, the little sound barrier thing on it. It took me a little bit to get it set up this morning because I didn't have the brain power to do it last night. But yeah, I'm really happy with it. And now, oh, check this out. Okay, hold on. We're gonna switch. Now, when I'm talking to you guys and we're talking about, you know, this or the book. See, I'm naturally speaking louder, but I don't need to. You can hear me just fine now, right? So we could do a whole stream all the way over here. And you can still hear me. That's definitely not. I can't dance, guys. I will never do that again. I have zero coordination. Steve did not marry me for my dance moves. But yeah, so oh, Durbin, I didn't even think about that. We could totally like set up the easel. Oh, we could do that. Thanks, Kim. We could totally do that. Oh, we're gonna have to do that now. But yeah, the wireless is so nice because it plugged into the top of my tower, the old mic, and I cannot tell you how many times I accidentally stood up and nearly pulled the entire tower off because I have it raised so it doesn't collect dust down below. But yeah, so this is just, you know, safer all around. And I kind of recorded some of the sound this morning and it sounded really good. And I was just like, yes. So hopefully this means no more, well, knocking on wood. But yeah, this is going to make everything so much easier. And the cool thing is too, it wasn't subscribers. We were going for members. I forget what the number is. I don't know. I pulled it down ages ago. Maybe we'll have to make a new goal. Oh, there you go. Maybe for like, that's what we can do. For 25,000 for the sub count, we could do Bob Ross. We were super close once. Absolutely. During that time though, we had a lot of lovely people that had gifted memberships, as well. But, yeah, we'll have to make some sort of new goal for it, because now we've got the mic for it. So, you know, when I get up and go around the office to try and find whatever things we're talking about, y'all can come with me. Oh God, I just said y'all. We've officially been in Texas too wrong. Not that there's anything wrong with y'all. I just grew up in the Pacific Northwest and assumed I would never pick up any, you know, isms from living in the South, but clearly that didn't happen. All right, we're going to use green now. But yeah, so long day yesterday. Mother-in-law had been traveling since about 2 a.m. our time, because it was an early flight and they had to drive there, you know, drive to the airport. So it was a big thing. She did surprisingly well, considering that we had a thing for little Steve to go. But when we got back, you know, we got some snacks and I made some coffee and everything. And then we all went to bed pretty early. I fell asleep so fast last night. Live in the furthest northwest part of Washington, never been to the South. Okay, whew. All right, then we're good. Maybe I'll just be like, no, definitely didn't come from living in Texas for ages. Actually, I'm 39 now. The first time I moved from the Northwest was when I was 19. But let's see, we've been here since, I'm trying to think now, since 2011. We're in 2025. So yeah, a few more years and I will have lived in Texas as long as I lived in Oregon. West, I always say, yeah, everyone keeps asking me from the east to south. I tell them no. There you go. All right, let's see. What? Green? No, we were just using green. What am I doing? No, let's get Easter grass. Ooh, actually, no, I take it back. Let's do, did I get jade out? Misty morning. Yeah, let's do a little bit of misty morning. But yeah, so everybody is very happy right now. I made my chicken Alfredo for dinner last night. I do a sauce from scratch because most Alfredo is not going to be gluten-free at the store, but I have a really tasty way I make it. So we made that last night. Mother's Day, I'm planning on putting a chicken in the crock pot, and I'm gonna make that creme pat recipe that I found around, what was it, Thanksgiving? I'm using gray, Worm Gray 3. So I'm gonna make a fruit tart for Sunday and do a whole chicken in the crock pot. And then of course we have Mother's Day gifts and whatnot. And yeah, so there's going to be all sorts of stuff we're doing this weekend. Like I said, we're going to take her to the river where the kids like to go, because it's been in the 80s here, right? It's really, oh, yeah, I kind of did, what was it? We did hemlock, we did pale sage, I think. Yeah, we did a few ones. Miami area, yeah. Waiting for a flight in Denver, and this guy was intrigued because he couldn't figure out where by how I spoke. Yeah, it's funny, when I moved here, people said I had an accent, and I'm looking at them like they're all nuts, because this girl that was specifically saying it, she grew up like in deep South Texas, like deep Texas. She had the thickest Texas accent I had ever heard, like ever. Let's see, we're gonna do lemon chartreuse. And so she was telling me, she's like, oh yeah, I can tell you have a northern accent. And I'm looking at her like, I have an accent. But it's funny because that's the way it is, you know, like depending on where you're from, it's the people that come from another area that has an accent. But I guess like for northern versus southern, I guess maybe like our A's are a little bit harder or what, but yeah. Let's see, lemon chartreuse, and then let's do apple green. Let's see, where did I put it? That's green, alien green, apple green. Here we go. But yeah, so like I said, they're down there playing games at the moment, and they're just going to get to spend some quality time with the grandmother. And then while she's here, we're going to discuss plans for summer. We're hoping, because we'll probably do an Airbnb, we're hoping to get one that's right on the beach. Oh my gosh, I swear you guys, when I go to the coast, it just recharges my soul. Like it's so good. Oh, and unrelated to the visitor that we have at the moment, actually, let's do Warm Gray 3. I found out, hi Liz, how are you? I found out that they shifted the dates for the festival this year. They're moving it to like October, which means that although yes, it will be warm, it's not going to be like, dear God, I'm melting. Why does the sun hate me? You know, the little Mario sun that flies around and tries to kill Mario. It's going to be cooler, you guys. It's going to be cooler. Again, it'll still be warm, but it won't be as bad as it was for last year. So I'm excited about that. That's another reason why I haven't been doing too much like artwork on the side. Actually, I should show you, because she's here now and she's downstairs, because the sun catcher I was working on, pretty sure she's not watching the stream because they're downstairs and they're busy. So I can show you guys the sun catcher I was working on. I was just kind of making it up as I go along. And I realized unless you have like the perfect window like setting, it is really hard to photograph it and show like the rainbow kind of reflections. So let me see if I've got one. Okay, I think this one's okay to show. Yes. Okay. So it looks like this. I got this little kind of gold leaf that goes in the middle. So you can't see it in this picture, but these beads here, these ones and these ones all have, they refract light. So it does like speckles of rainbows on the wall. And I was kind of, these are a bunch of shells and stuff from like left over that I picked up when we were in Oregon. So I added those. And then I kind of liked the idea. I didn't want it to make it look like a dream catcher, but I liked the idea of kind of the asymmetrical thing. So I tried to make this look kind of a reminiscent of almost like seaweed or like kelp. So it looks really cool. It's already all wrapped up and everything, so I can't show it to you guys, but when I make another one, I'll show it to you guys. I haven't decided if this is anything I would ever sell. The fact of the matter is wire wrapping is really hard on your hands. So we'll see. What I might do is make a few and then sell them at the festival. You're going to do silent streams for practice again? Yes, absolutely. In fact, I've been thinking more about that because in getting ready for her to come here, I was decluttering the office. And look at that chat catching up. It doesn't run while it's not there. So I'm going to shift this way. Okay, there we go. Okay, so you might see, it's hard to point so that you guys can see it. Okay, these back here, there's a lot of pencils back there because in cleaning up all the pencils I haven't put away, I put them all in one spot. So I was thinking, unless I have time to do it on my own, we may need to do like another impromptu stream at some point. And spend like 3 hours putting them away because that's probably how long it'll take. Here's the thing. Again, I keep things clean, but sometimes I just don't want to put the pencils away. And there's a very handy cup that's right there. And you know, I can just say a saver for the content. So, you know, 2 or 3 times a year, I sit down and actually put everything away. Oh boy. It's just classic me, but it's cool. It's cool. That's why you guys love me, right? Maybe. All right, we're gonna do some more warm gray here. But no, I was so pleased that I succeeded because I mean, I cannot tell you how many times I had to keep myself in check and not spill the beans. Like I said, little Emily had a really hard week at school this week, and I almost just told her to help like cheer her up and everything. But I was like, no, I'm using a spring leaf. I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. Like we need to focus on, because I was, you know, trying to help her through something. And I was just like, let's focus on helpful solutions for that. Because even saying that, you know, Nana's coming to visit, that wasn't going to fix the problem at hand. So I was like, no, I'm not going to spoil it. They'll enjoy it so much more when they're just like blown away because, you know, she's here. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, sorting stream. That's what I'm thinking. Oh, I think the music stopped. Hang on. There we go. But yeah, the office is really cleaned up and put away. Like I said, sometimes I'll just like store stuff on either side during streams. And then when I'm done with stream, I'm usually, you know, jetting off to go do something with the kids and full on putting everything away. Doesn't happen all the time. All right, let's do midnight. But if it gets too cluttered, I'm just like, yeah, no, this needs to be cleared up. But anyway, yeah, so he surprised me with a replacement mic, and I think it's going to make quite a difference for our streams because I don't have any filters on this or anything. The quality of this is just the mic itself. Like, it is just fabulous. A lot of times when you see, you know, like streamers, you know, live on their phones or wherever, because you can connect this to your phone as well. So it's incredibly versatile. And yeah, I'm excited to be able to use that one. So yeah, and the less cords that are attached to me, the better. Honestly, we all know how clumsy I am. Okay, so these leaves here are kind of the same as these leaves, but there's nothing that says that we absolutely have to color them all exactly the same. So, what time is it? It's 10:55. I'm talking so much. Let's pivot just a little bit. And from the leaves, go up and do this, because this is going to be different than here because it needs to be much darker. Put them a case or a Ziploc for Una to go through and sort. See, there you go. I used to pay the kids to sort the pencils until they realized they didn't like it either. They got old enough that the appeal of money did not balance out for the work that it takes to put them all away. So, I mean, like I said, it's not like they're just like tossed everywhere, but they're definitely all in their own cups. So, oh, and if you guys missed it, mother-in-law sent this for my birthday. She made a pencil cup out of pencils. Now, these pencils actually belong in here because these are the super colors. I only have a few of them that I got open stock for my birthday. And, ooh, I didn't drop that. No one saw that. Anyway, they don't have a case. So this is like perfect for storing it. So that's their permanent home. Okay, so we're going to do the side of the train. It's going to be much darker. We definitely need sepia. Unless, oh yeah, we already have that out. Okay, so sepia for sure. We'll have our black and our grays. Let's get terracotta if it's not out already. It is, so we're good there. Right, I just need to up the price. Because before, you know, one pencil case, I'd be like, okay, I'll give you a couple bucks. And they're like, wee. But little Steve is saving up for a new video game that he wants. And so there's been a bit of inflation since they've gotten older. 50 cents doesn't go all that far when you're no longer a toddler. Okay, so let's see. Terracotta, sepia. Let's do sienna brown. Sienna brown light, burnt sienna, sienna brown. There we go. We've already got out raspberry, barbecue. Let's get garnet. A lot of wrapping, sun charms, dream catchers, necklace, bracelet. Ooh, do you have pictures, Della? I would love to see them. Because like there seems to be, like I'm on like a wire wrapping Reddit. And there's definitely a lot of styles. But I don't know. I sort of planned it out when I did it. But I really just kind of like to wing it. And I'm like, okay, well, I want something here to balance it kind of thing. So if you have pictures, by all means, share them. Because like I'm always looking for inspiration for them. How were your hands? Like, did you, like, maybe it's just because my hands are already, like, kind of rough, because they just are what they are. But, like, how did you save your hands when you did it? More than enough jewelry making stuff. The only thing that is missing is a workbench and tools. I still got around to replacing them after they got, oh, they got stolen? Oh, no. Well, maybe I can show you. I have mine all in a toolbox right now. And so I've got like all of my, because I tend to get just glass beads because they reflect the light a lot better. But I also use those beads in like necklace making and you know, jewelry stuff. I haven't really sold any of the jewelry. Most of it I wear myself. Let's see, do I have, oh yeah, like this is one of them. I have others that are in the other room where I usually hang things up. But like this, I've shared a couple pictures of them, but I use a lot of the shells and rocks that I collected when I was in Oregon. So I'm still working on my method for the back, but like I've got, you know, some little beads that go up along the side. So it's like I choose a main piece, which was the shell, and then tried to wrap things so that they naturally, you know, kind of follow the flow of the shape with glass and crystals. I have to be careful though, because I got some crackle beads and they'd work great for necklaces and such, but when you use the wire to, even like the super thin wire to wrap around it, they immediately crumbled. And I was just like, well, the crackles look real pretty, but they fall apart real fast. Like I picked up this rose quartz from a little shop in town, and I love that it's just like a raw, it's not like a cut or a polished or anything, it's just raw. Well, it might be polished a little bit, but the shape of it is raw, and it's just like this little indent here would be perfect for securing wire and everything. So I'm planning on using this, on this for a sun catcher, because it's a little bit too bulky, I think, for a necklace. It'd be a little bit heavy, but I really like rose quartz. I think it's super, super pretty. But yeah, it's super fun. Thanks. I don't know, maybe if I ever get brave enough, I will. But for now, I find it really relaxing because I kind of just go with the flow. But I just can't do them all the time because it just destroys my hands. Okay, so we're gonna work on this. Seriously, we could like turn this into just chatting about what I've got in my toolbox over there stream, but I'm not gonna do that to you guys. So this side is gonna be darker. So we're actually gonna start with a light layer of sepia all the way across. And many years, my hands were younger. Probably hurt now because Mr. Arthritis messing with my thumbs. Oh my gosh, Della, I feel that so much. Like, I don't know if you guys saw in the video, but I am also at the point, I'm on a journey of finding which ones I like best. But, yeah, you couldn't see it because of the dirt. I've been wearing a knee brace almost like 24/7. I don't need to yell. You guys are right here with me. I was raising my voice. I've been wearing a knee brace almost 24/7 because like it's the, not the knee itself, but it's like the muscle around the kneecap. It just aches like all get out. And my knees were actually a little bit swollen the other day. So I have like 3 different knee braces that I've been working with, you know, because the compression ones don't work well if you're wearing jeans. But this one I got yesterday and I'm really liking it so far. I almost turned on my fan to switch back to the camera. Okay, since I was standing up anyway, side quests. If you're new here, we do side quests. It's just what we do. You know, first sun catcher is very excited to get started. Oh, I love that. So I've got, here, we'll switch over to this one. So I've got my toolbox here. So I picked up these the other day. I thought they were really pretty. The fairy tale charms were on sale at Hobby Lobby. So these ones, yeah, exactly. And that's what I was reading. Like some it doesn't work for them, some it does. What I have found is that it helps alleviate the pain because I don't like to take anything for any kind of knee pain or joint pain. Suzanne, hello. Sorry, we're on a side quest at the moment. Because it's not good to take Tylenol and aspirin on a daily basis, and I kind of have to most of the time anyway for my migraines. So I save pain medicine for migraines, and I try not to take anything. So what it does is it helps to it helps to alleviate the pain is what it does. So I've got these ones here, and these ones aren't ones that are like in our charm stuff, but I've got these ones here, the little, let's see, the crackle beads that I was talking about. Where did I put them? They are, oh, these ones here. So let's see if I can get it closer. So these ones here, when they're made, they've got the little cracks all the way through. And again, they're really pretty, but the moment I wrap them in wire, they just completely crumble. So these are not good for wire wrapping. But I have a lot of these other small ones. These were on clearance. I haven't found a good use for them yet. I don't like to do like huge jewelry. I want it to flow, right? Yeah, me too. These ones are the rainbow kind of sparkle ones that I picked up that will catch the very first beads I worked with and I started years ago for wire wrapping or for just jewelry in general. Anyway, so these ones reflect light. These are actually jasper, so these are stone. I usually wait for Hobby Lobby sales because like every other week, different brands will be on sale. So if I see something I want, it's not on sale, I just wait until the next week. And then I've got loads of like, we've got copper. I just got some more gold. And then, you know, I've got all of the little jewelry fasteners. And I really like I have some chains like I had for this one here. I had some chains. Most of them are like stainless steel. Right, Kenny? Exactly. And I do have some of the elastic to string the beads together. For some of the bases for the necklaces, I found these at Michael's. So these are like my, you know, base for start adding shells and wrapping. Sure, closer, I used to make jewelry. I have 6 IKEA cubes full of beads and findings. Are they like glass and stuff? And then, oh, this was another one that I was working with. I wasn't totally happy with it. I need to put a flat base on the back of it. Here, let's see, is it? There we go. I need to put a flat base on the back of it because it's so rounded, it rolls and it never sits on the front. So this was, you know, with an almost intact conch shell that I found on the beach. And in case anybody comes on, I did it all ethically. There were no critters in it. These shells were already kind of broken. They were going to use. And then I've got some oval bases. And then I like using the leather cord. Well, it's faux leather cord, but it is, I got this kind of bluish teal one, and then I've got a brown one, and then I keep a lot of, like, this was some sea glass, and we've got, you know, some partial shells. I did pick up a couple agates from a health food store that I really liked. So this is an amethyst. This is another quartz. So I haven't figured out how I want to use them yet, but I definitely do. This is a shell piece that I found that has some partial barnacles on it. Now, all of these shell pieces I cleaned also. So there's a way that you can clean them to make sure, you know, there's no kind of like animal debris of any kind, or, you know, so like they got thoroughly cleaned. And then I have one of those sonic cleaner thingamajigers. And I use that to get out any like remaining sand or anything that needed to be got out. And then of course we've got, you know, all the pliers and different rings and whatnot, but it's been super fun. So we got more fasteners here, but I find it incredibly, oh, here's the other one. So we got more like little crystal rainbow beads. Right, that's what I'm thinking. The only other thing that I wish I could find, and if anybody knows, please let me know. I have been seeing pictures, like when I look at wire wrapping stuff, I see pictures of these really gorgeous pieces, and they're wrapped, but it's this really thick, almost square wire. And the thickest I've been able to find, and I don't know if I'm just not doing the right search parameters, because I get most of it either on Amazon, Michael's, or Hobby Lobby. Like this is nice and thick. This is an 18 gauge, but I see these almost square wires, and I'm like, where do you get that? Because oh my gosh, Suzanne, do it. It has been so fun. And because like maybe down the line, if I make enough, like I'll sell it. But because it's so hard on my hands, I don't do it very often. And I just wear the pieces myself, which I really like because I get compliments on them. So I feel like I've got to be doing okay for random strangers to go out of their way to be like, hey, that looks great. And I'm like, thanks. But I would love to find some bigger wire. I just don't know. I just don't know where from. Oh my gosh, Durbin. Why didn't I think of that? Because now that you're saying it, I'm like, yeah, I've been getting everything from... That's a brain moment right there. I literally, up until you just said something, at no point did that pop into my head. See? This is we're like a hive mind here. This is why I go off on side quests and talk to you guys about it, because I'm like, where do you guys know? Because I never considered that. Right? So like if I was able to go, I would absolutely be doing that. But the issue is I would need the trip to be longer. Well, if it's too heavy, you'll find it hard to manipulate smoothly. So that one is an 18 gauge. In your experience, what is the maximum amount of gauge that you have found works well? Because there's like that fine line between being able to bend it with your hands or having to use pliers, like, and I've got the rounded ones, so it won't leave the grooves, but being able to use pliers, but also not damage the wire. Those things too. They charge a huge increase for crafts, but oh, I didn't even think about that. I think trip to Lowe's might be in order. Kim, are you trying to cut out caffeine? See, this is why we stream. Like, yes, we're coloring, but we got like 3 leaves done so far, and it's 11:09. But like I said, like, this is why I think I'd have a hard time on like Instagram or TikTok, because like, you're my people. And like, I feel comfortable enough that we can just talk like this versus, you know, see plastic coated pliers. Ooh, writing that down. Yeah, because I really enjoy it. I just usually have to take a break because of my hands. See plastic coated pliers. Oh, well, you are a brave, brave woman. You can. What about like decaf coffee? I know that decaf technically still has a little bit of caffeine, but would that be enough to help wean you off of coffee? Usually use a rod to help me bend and twist if I struggle with tools. Ooh, okay. Right? Exactly. You guys are our people. Julie workshop about 20 years and teacher had some to sell it. Oh, nice. Get the wire wrapping pliers that have been dipped in. Oh yeah, that's what she was just saying. Yeah, because I've just got the metal ones right now, but yeah, that's on my list now because I really enjoy it. I do. I find it very relaxing. The sun catcher, all total, I think I worked about 12 hours on it. It's cold water process, only 1% caffeine. Oof, oof. Yeah, this is almost gone. Yesterday was definitely a 2 cups of coffee kind of day. All right, I suppose we should probably get some coloring done. Half and half instead of one. You know, Kim, that's actually what I do. So my body does not agree with me well if I had sepia. Where did I put it? Oh, I was using it to write with. That's what I drink. I always drink half calf. So I do half regular, half decaf because full caffeinated. I can have 2 half calves in a day because they're spread out by at least 4 or 5 hours. But if I drink a full calf coffee, my heart is like so angry. So yeah, that's what I do. All right, we're going to use sepia and we are going to color in this whole thing because this side is going to be darker because our light source is coming from the right. Bye, Dawn. Thanks for being here. But yeah, it's been super fun. Oh, I forgot to show you the one other thing. I scooted back and initially I was like, oh no, wait, I got to move the cord. I don't. I could be back here and talk in my normal voice and you guys can hear me just fine. Chatting to Amazon, Derwent have said to return the pencil stem and some are definitely pre-used. Oh yeah, good luck with that. Good luck with that. So one other thing, Hobby Lobby had them on sale and I got this really pretty thing. So I showed you that gold leaf that I put on the other one and I've been eyeing this item for a while, but it's something that I would only ever get on sale. There it is. And it's definitely, it's too big and bulky for like jewelry, but for the sun catcher, how adorable is this? Like, hello? It's a tiny little hot air balloon. And so like when it hangs, it's like, I'll put it in my face so you can see it. There you go. When it hangs, it's just like, it's so cute, right? Oh, so it's the, wait, let's see. Middle of Tiny with Derwent. Oh, I didn't realize it was the Chroma Flow. But yeah, super freaking cute. Every now and then I'll get like little gadgets like these just because they're really adorable. So I got this little sewing machine. Just sits on my shelf. I think it was actually part of the dollhouse stuff, but it's super, super cute. In fact, I have an old-fashioned sewing machine. Yeah, that's what it is. Like, it's this whole steampunk area. They've got gears and little clocks, and they've got such cute charms. But I was just like, oh my gosh, if this was hanging in a sun catcher, and there's nothing to say because there's holes. Like, I could even weave in some of the like rainbowy kind of reflective beads or like put something inside of it and dangle. Like, super cute. Super, super cute. Anyway, sorry, I digress. I like shiny things. But yeah, I have one of those older sewing machines. It's a legit table. I forget where my mom had gotten it, but she got it and she refurbished it and everything. And she actually ended up, now that I think about it, she was probably about my age when she did it. But where we were living at the time, they had, around the 4th of July, they had a Victorian tea party. And right, we like shiny things. It was a Victorian tea party, and there was a fashion show where all of these women wearing their Victorian clothes went, and they did like a fashion show where they walked through, there's like a gazebo, and they did this whole thing. So anyway, Mom made a Victorian dress completely out of the sewing machine, the Victorian sewing machine. And she loved it. I remember she was so proud walking down that sidewalk runway and everything. But anyway, they have since downsized and they live in various places throughout the year, but they're kind of doing tiny home living. So actually, currently that sewing machine is at mother-in-law's house because it is in another state, and there just hasn't been a situation in which we can bring that down here. But it's a legit like old pedal sewing machine, and it's in great condition. She's got it, you know, she's got it covered and safe. So it lives at her house, and it has for at least the last decade or so. But eventually, if the situation ever arises, I really want to bring it here. But yeah, so I do have an old-fashioned sewing machine, and it is so much fun. I remember when I was younger, I would just play with the pedal and I would just push it, you know, just to see how fast I could get it going. But yeah, that would be so fun to make stuff with. But yeah, she like legit did it, you know, made the Victorian dress with the Victorian sewing machine. Oh, Mona, I love that. And you made your wedding dress? That's amazing. Oh my gosh, that's great. I've seen like these things where girls are crocheting their dresses. Oh my gosh, I would not have the patience for it, like at all. As it is, I have my current project that I keep in my Go crochet bag. I'm working on another poncho, but I figure if I just keep plugging away at it, by the time it's cold here again, then it'll be, you know, time to wear it. Yeah, same. Yeah, if you have a picture, that would be amazing. I love crafty stuff, honestly. Like, it's so much fun. And how, like I said, I do make a certain level of income doing the live streaming, but I find it so cool that the live streaming ties in with the creative side and things that I like to create. And yeah, I love sharing all of it with you, especially like the, look at these shiny beads. Who doesn't like a good shiny bead, honestly? Right? We all want to see it now. So I have this kind of the sky done as in like the sun is setting. So that means that this side could be significantly darker, but I don't want to do like black. We're not going to do that. Okay, let's see. I'm trying to match because we also have like this area here where it's going to get like a different paneling. And I want to say that's what this is. So we're going to go around it, and this will be the same color as we choose for that. So we're going to bring sepia here. But yeah, that was a big story. What, I took like 30 minutes to tell that story. But yeah, if you guys missed it, the reason, the short of a long story is, for the last few months, I have been working with my mother-in-law, and we've been working together to surprise Steve and the kids with her coming for a visit. And I was able to get everything prepped and ready to go without anyone finding out. And she arrived yesterday. Like I said, this has been months in the work. And so if I've been saying, oh yeah, I'm busy, it's because I've been busy getting that all squared away. It was really, really hard not to spill the beans. Really hard. Because I tell Steve everything, right? And that's definitely something we would be discussing. Oh boy. Okay. So we got leaves that goes under there. This is gonna get that sepia. Yeah, catch up summary real quick. If you want to hear the full play-by-play story, that's definitely at the beginning. Again, I will always kick myself for pushing the wrong button. I was just so distracted and frazzled. And by that time, I had been literally driving back and forth all over Cucamonga for like 5 hours. So, and if you know anything about Austin and I-35, that is incredibly stressful to drive. There will never not be traffic, or, you know, like construction traffic on there. Like literally, they've made an announcement that I-35 is and always will be under construction. And I'm telling you, the drivers around here, I have upped my defensive driver skills. Like I cannot be distracted like at all. Like I have to pay so close attention because it just blows my mind. The amount of accidents that happens on that highway. If you can make it through going on that highway without seeing anything on fire, it's a good day. But we made it through, and then it was nice because I-35 was so busy on the way back. It gave us like my maps gave us like a back road home to go to. So it was a little bit more of a relaxed drive home, and I was able to chat. Hi, Sketch, how are you? Back in about a year, but the amount of traffic on 35, it's insane. Like, it's absolutely crazy. It's just like, at some point, we're going to manage this, right? Right, exactly. And, you know, honestly, if there wasn't so much traffic, we're going to use Garnick now. It would probably be a bit better, but it's just they're constantly adding or improving or whatever else. And because there's like semis on the highway too, like it is, if you want to go for a relaxing drive, do not go on I-35. And Norfolk countryside, we're not used to traffic, right? Well, and like where we're at exactly, it's kind of a small space, but still. The drivers here are insane. Fun to surprise Mother's Day weekend to see our mom in Texas. We've all been quiet in discussions with mom, so she doesn't guess. 17-year-old definitely knew it was a secret. And told, oh man, I would be livid. Like the kids are younger, and so there's a reason, like I could have brought him in on it, but it was hard enough for me, a grown adult, to keep the secret. And I was just like, no, you know what? We're gonna make this work, and we are not going to spill the beans. But to see the look on his face when he saw his mom here just made it all worth it. His dad is no longer with us, and he's been an only child and everything. So him and his mom have a pretty special relationship. And you know, it's hard when we live so many states away. And in fact, when we first moved down here, previously, she had a fear of flying, but she overcame that, you know, worked really hard. And so, yeah, she would fly to see us. Let's see. Just stumbled to your stream. Heard you mention I-35. Was like, oh wait, you're in my neck of the woods. Well, close to. Yeah, I-35 is insane. I had to I had to drive through it yesterday. I was going to Austin to head to the airport, and it's just like there's always traffic there. Again, we don't go there very often. Usually when I spend a long period of time on I-35, it's because we're headed to Austin. If there's some place we need to go to up there, you know, like Jerry's Artorama, totally made it worth it. But yeah, I-35 is completely insane. So we've been looking after my sister-in-law. We have to drive into London. It's taken a while to get used to London driving again. We used to do it every day, but it's hard now. Yeah, and also for us, the driving on the opposite side of the road. When we came to the UK to visit Johanna, my mom did the driving. I was like, my brain cannot brain this opposite side of the road. And where we were at, some of the places we went, it was kind of in the country. And you know, those roads are really narrow, but that doesn't stop everybody from driving on it. It was a little, we're like, oh God, this is a tight squeeze. He's 17. He knows to keep quiet, so he defended it by saying it was my sister's secret, not his. Oh my gosh. No excuse. No excuse whatsoever. Well, turkey. No allowance for him if he gets allowance, or maybe take away his screen. I don't know. Can you take away a 17-year-old's phone? I don't know if that works anymore. They're still, you know, not 18 yet. If you live under my house, you live by our rules. Actually, it was funny. So, you know, mother-in-law arrived yesterday, and she, you know, offered to help with dinner, or offered to help with cleanup, or, you know, I was making up her bed, so she offered to, you know, do the bed. I was like, no, you are not allowed to do any chores while you're here, like whatsoever. And then as a joke, I was like, when you live in my house, you follow my rules. And the rule is you're not to lift a finger, and you are to relax and spend time with your son. Right? Seriously. Roads in the country are windy and narrow, and in Scotland, hilly too. Yeah, so that's where we were at, and it was just like, ah. But yeah, that's why I had my mom do the driving. I mean, I probably would have done it if I really needed to, but I had mom as an option to help with the driving, and I was just like, yes, please. I will navigate, you drive. Last of the coffee. Oh, God. Right? Yeah, when little Emily has to deal with like bullies at school, like we've had to talk about, you know, because there's just only so much you can do when it comes to fellow bully students, right? And it's just like, so we're working on, you know, tools to help figure out what to do in certain situations, in fact. So it's just, it's a work in progress. Kids are terrible. Thing of it is that, you know, and this is not to toot my own horn, but also toot. My kid is freaking amazing. Like, she's straight A student, really involved, you know, never even tells like a white lie. Like, you know, of course, you know, there's her and her brother. They, you know, they get in little scuffles every now and then, but I don't know any siblings that don't disagree from time to time, especially when they're younger. But like, I don't have to worry about her. And so she sees these kids acting up and doing whatever, and she's like, what is wrong with them? But it's definitely given us an opportunity to discuss. You know, she's never experienced parents who don't care, or, you know, the concern of whether or not she's going to get to eat or clean clothes or whatever. So it's given us an opportunity to be like, we don't know what's going on in their lives. Maybe they've got, you know, parents that bully them, or, you know, maybe they're, you know, they need attention for whatever reason, or they've got siblings that bully them, or whatever else. Generally, bullying is learned behavior. And without knowing what's going on in their lives, you know, it's hard to understand where they're coming from. But for her, who has never experienced that kind of, you know, upbringing, that's why it doesn't make sense to her. She's just like, what is wrong with them? And so, yeah, we've talked about, you know, there are different lives, and as long as you stay kind and everything, you know. Yeah, it's a thing, but we're working through it, and, you know, boys aren't going to get any better for the next few years. So we're working on how to deal with all of that. I don't want to say like how to manage ourselves, because we can't control what they do. We can only control what we do. And it's a matter of, you know, just giving her the tools that she needs to get through it. That's all. Right, Jeanette? Me too. My mom is super excited. They really are. They really are. My classroom at school was a bully-free zone. It was a sanctuary for so many students. My den was a place. See, I will say there are definitely some things that teachers could do to make things better. And without going into too many details, there's a conversation that will be happening in regards to that next week. So, you know, drama. But we will cross that bridge when we get to it. The best we can do is help her prepare and help her. I use this phrase a lot, but having the tools in your toolbox to help you handle situations. Life is not going to always be easy, and I will not always be there to protect her. When I can, I absolutely will be, but the goal is to raise her in a way to where she can protect herself if need be, you know? The workplace too, teachers have responsibilities. Yes, absolutely. It really is, Kim. It really is. And I think every day that I have a child who is intelligent enough to help, you know, understand, and, you know, she feels comfortable that she can, I'm using Sienna Brown, come to me and talk to me about things when things are not going the way they should. Youngest is scrappy, will stick up for his friends, which has gotten him into trouble, even though the other kid absolutely deserved it. Right? Seriously. Just always ensure your kids know you are approachable for everything they want to discuss, no matter how squeamish. They engage with. Yes. And Steve and I have been talking about that a lot, because we're at an age now where things are going to be remembered, right? It's not like when they're little where they just kind of forget about things and move on. We are at an age now where how we react, and, you know, whether it's a story where she needs us to back her up or, you know, believe her story, like, we trust our kid, and there's no way that I will ever not believe her if she says something happened, you know? So I told Steve, I was just like, right now, even though some of these issues may not be that big of a deal, we are laying the groundwork for knowing that she can trust us and come to us without judgment and without skepticism when something happens. So I was like, now, although things are not as complicated at the moment, things will get more complicated. And if she feels like she can come to us and know that we will believe her and be, you know, be on her side, that's what's going to be really important right now. That's it, Jeanette. And we've talked about, and I appreciate that, but yeah, we've talked about that with her. It's just like, not everybody has parents who care about them the way your parents do. Not every parents take care of their children the way your parents take care of you. Just broke up with a boyfriend. I asked her if I needed to buy a plane ticket. She said, nope, I handle it. That's good. Yeah, correct tools in the toolbox. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, all of that for sure. So it's hard, but she knows, she would tell me, you know, like coming home is her favorite part of the day. And that right there tells me that we are doing something right. She feels like this is her safe haven, right? So it's like, as long as she knows that she can come to us and that she is safe and understood and heard, that's going to make a world of difference. And we're hoping that next year will be better. She's trying some new activities. You know, she's got a good core group of friends, and you know, she's excited about the new stuff she gets to try next year. So we're hoping that she'll be able to go into this next school year with a little bit of confidence. But before that, school's almost out. They only have a couple weeks left. So currently they are just, you know, surviving the school year. And yeah, summer is almost here. What does Phineas and Ferb say? There's 104 days of summer vacation. Vacation, not vacation. Da, 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 da. So they are ready for some Phineas and Ferb time. Right? Exactly. Premature gray hairs. He doesn't hesitate to stand up for himself. Oh, God. But, you know, that's good, too. That's good, too. And, you know, it's adorable. Little Steve, you know, is a younger brother. And when he hears that little Emily has had a hard time, he's like, you want me to go beat him up? And we're like, well, that's probably not the best way to handle it, but the sentiment is there, and I appreciate that. But yeah, there's a lot of things that we reference when we do, you know, life lessons and whatnot. We've talked a lot about relationships are like a bank account. You can't consistently make withdrawals if you're not making deposits. And, you know, I've talked about that with my siblings as well. And, you know, it's like, it's the way with any relationship. You can't, and by making withdrawals, it's not even necessarily asking something of that person you're in a relationship with, whether it's a friendship, you know, your parent, your sibling, your spouse, your partner, whatever else. It's not about like asking him to do things. Yes, that's part of the withdrawal, but withdrawal also kind of follows, you know, drama and opposite opinions and everything. And it's really hard to help someone understand if you're constantly taking, whether it's time, energy, you know, asking for advice, not taking it, or even just remembering them on a day, not even like if it's their birthday, not even gifts, but remembering their birthday, calling them, you know, just calling them to check and see how they are, that kind of thing. So if you're constantly withdrawing and not depositing in a relationship, then that relationship's gonna suffer a little bit. Right? Right, Amanda? It's adorable. And hi, Amanda. How are you guys? If you don't know, and if you are into Minecraft, Mandolin is one of my wonderful friends who streams over on Twitch. Let me grab the link for that, actually. But she has a super fun and safe and wonderful community. So if you like hanging out on Twitch with a little bit of gaming, you'll find me there on most evenings when she is streaming. I'm gonna grab that real quick. We're gonna put that right there. There we go. So if you guys like video games and Twitch, yeah, we're over there a lot. Second title, ooh, pen pastels, nice. Ooh, have fun, right? I've got them all. I put them all in one stack now, and I keep them. They don't really have a drawer, but I just keep them like on the side. And yeah, it's something very satisfying about having them all stacked. And then I had a couple more larger ones that have like the little you know, sponges for it and everything. But yeah, ooh, new art supplies. Right, and we've got loads to still try out. So we've got, you know, we're doing the Star Joys. And then after this, I want to dive into, oh, I think I put it away when I was clearing up everything. But the Neo colors, I'm excited to, don't stay stacked like that. Well, do they not like twist on top of one another? Because like they came with lids, and then I just screwed them on top. Go figure, it was the white one. I have two white ones, but they just come on top. I was really surprised to see open stock pan pastels at Jerry's. So I think whenever I make a special trip out there, I'm gonna probably snag a couple more colors. Let's brighten that up a little bit. There we go. All right, we're gonna use the blender and see how much darker we can get this, because I do want it to be darker than this, but I still need it to be somewhat similar. Yeah, I took the lid off the other ones and then just screwed them all together in one big pan pastel sausage. Is that how that works? So when the kids were younger and in diapers, we had the diaper genie, which if you don't know, it's a pail specifically for diaper changes and whatnot. But when you put it in there, you put it in the bag and then you twist it. So when you finally pull it out of the out of the can, it's just basically like you've got these links of diapers in there, and so we used to call it the diaper sausage. Half of mine didn't have lids, so they will stay stacked until I break down and get lids. Yeah, because I've got two, I got two sets. So I was gifted by Renee the second set, and then Ev sent me the portrait set. So since they came by sets, we had just the two lids, so I just stacked them. But there'll probably come a time when I don't stack them anymore, because the last thing I want to do is to make it so high that it topples and then they like explode, because that would be terrible. I only have 10 pan pastels. The primary is black, white, and 5 pastels. I hope I have. Oh, absolutely. So I've got that one kind of primary color set, and then my first set was the skin tone set, which actually, hilariously enough, was the precursor to one of my reels that kind of went semi-viral-ish on TikTok. In fact, I don't know how many views it's got now, but I want to say it was like 250,000 or something. Trays are amazing, but they do take up a large footprint. Oh, absolutely. Oh, Shannon, I don't know if you were here earlier. How does the sound? No, how, words are hard. No, it was how does the sound sound? I can talk. I can words. Let's see. What are we at to? Oh, it's actually at a fair amount. Hang on, I'll show you real quick. It is currently, the sound sounds 430. Oh, you were looking. Thank you. Yeah, so we're almost at 500,000 views on that, which is just crazy. That blows my mind. I mean, did that translate into anything? But no, but it was really cool when it initially took off. Like, how do I follow you on there? So when you go on there, if you just type in Emily Illustrator, it should pop up. I honestly have not made a reel in ages, and I need to. I still have that one I need to edit. But again, as you guys know, I've been plotting the plotting sounds evil. Plotting the great surprise. I was just so pleased I kept with it. Like seriously, when I tell you, it was so hard to not spill the beans. Like, I mean it. There were so many opportunities where, like, if I wanted to cheer up the kids or whatever, there were so many times I was just like, oh, if I just told him she was coming, like, it'd be great. Thank you, Shannon. But I am pleased that I stuck with it. And they all got their separate times to be surprised by her arrival. And yeah, so it's going to be a lot of fun. This weekend, we've got stuff going on tomorrow. Sunday will be, you know, there's a boat thing we want to take her on, and we're going to go take her to the river, and we're going to go swimming. Sounds good. And we're going to go swimming and just all the things. So it'll be a lot of fun. It's a shorter trip. Like I said, she's only here. We will take her back to the airport Tuesday morning. But we'll see her again in a few months. So let me plug myself in, right? Yeah, so it's going to be, let's see, I'm going to use sienna. Actually, there's a lighter color brown on here. I want to use just a little bit of that. Like I said, we're trying to make this side darker because that is the side that's going to have more shadow since it's away from it. Exclamation point lurky, love it. Let's do, where did my chart go? Where did I set it? Guys, I haven't moved from my seat. I think I've lost my mind. I literally haven't moved. I mean, I did get up and walk over there, but okay. Guess we're doing the rest of this without the chart unless it fell down. Oh my gosh, it was right there. It was on top of my keyboard. But honestly, at this point, no one should be surprised at my inability to... Yes, absolutely. Shannon. It's because she didn't know it was going to pop up. Exclamation point lurky is her command, but our lovely Shannon also streams. So you should definitely check her out. She is one of my wonderful mods. And she streams quite frequently. If you need like, she does the productivity streams. She does sprints, like absolutely. Absolutely wonderful. All right, let's do, let's see, golden butterscotch. But see, I also know that Shannon does not like to, like she has full permission to. She's one of my mods and absolutely everybody should go check her out. But she has a tendency to not promote herself, even if we want her to, which is why I know she's like, oh, that's not the one that I meant. All right, golden butterscotch, where? Oh my gosh, it's because it's in the browns. I'm looking over here. That's not even, okay. Oh yes, also coloring challenges. She does, what was it? She does the coloring Monopoly too, where they'll do their picks at the beginning of what, a month? I forget how often it is. All right, so we're just doing the golden butterscotch to add a little bit of brown here, and then we're gonna go a little bit darker, especially where there's gonna be like a shadow overlap. But yes. Now, since we have so much time and mother-in-law's here until Tuesday, I should have some more time to get further caught up on this page because I know it's like taking us forever, but life is just busy. Thank you. Yes, Monopoly and Bingo and Community Butter Color. Butter color. That's what I said. Anybody want to color with butter? It's a thing. I mean, I've colored with coffee and tea. Right, Jeanette? Exactly. Community Buddy Color. Gosh, say that 10 times fast. Can we get an exclamation point words in chat? Sounds good, Sketch. Thanks for being here. Have a good rest of your day. So yeah, and like I said, it worked out perfect with Mother's Day and everything. So I'm going to do a chicken in the crock pot. We're going to do veggies, and I'm going to make some of those gluten-free Red Lobster biscuits. And I'm going to make a fruit tart, and because that's the other thing too that I think Steve kind of raised an eyebrow, because if it was just me, like, I mean, you guys know me. I'm kind of most of the time, I'm just like, yeah, it's fine. Like, I don't need things. We're good, whatever. But already I was saying, oh yeah, we're going to have a great Mother's Day. I'm going to clean up the house. I'll make a tart. So it's just like, oh yeah, I just thought, you know, it's Mother's Day. We might do something nice or whatever. And then, you know, after we saw that she was here, it's like, he's like, that's why you were like, oh, we're going to do this, this, and this. And I'm like, I know, right? See, words are hard. I'm like, next challenged with food. I have done, not with food, but with beverages. So I think I've got it actually in my big notebook of, sometimes I keep finished coloring pages in a notebook. And in this notebook, it was back when, I'm just knocking things over. It was back when Johanna did, I think it was 30 days of creativity. So I have this, again, another side quest. I'm down with the side quests. That's what we're here for, right? So I have, let's see, is that zoomed out? Yeah, it's zoomed out about as far as it can. So I keep a lot of these in here, and let's see if I have it in here. These are ones we've done over the years and whatnot. I love this one. I did this one on my own. That's probably one of my favorites. I do be sneaky, right? That's what I was saying yesterday. I'm like, well, you don't call me sneaky for nothing. So let's see. We got that one. Done a lot of Christine Karen's. Side quest is life. Yes, I love side quests. This is a Christine Karen page, but I turned her into what if Gamora was cozy? So, you know, that's Gamora. Lots of cake pages. I like drawing cakes. Let's see. I'm trying to see if I can find, let's see, we got frog. I like Halloween cake. But I can't seem to figure out how to share them in Discord. There should be a picture down at the bottom attached, or if you want, you can just message to me if you know, end up. Right, Michelle? Yeah, we have a lot of these. I need to go through and add the rest of them because like I have some uncolored ones that I've printed and then not used. Again, lots of Christine Karen because I print hers out. This one's one of mine, but I don't recall if I have this in the shop. Right? Oh, I love side quests. This one's a sticker, actually. That one's a sticker. Oh, this one was a group one that we did for group stream. This was all done with Crayola crayon. Oh my gosh. Try layering Crayola crayon. It's impossible. Yeah, because I purchased a lot of Christine's and then I print them out. I'm trying to see if I can find it. I feel like it wasn't here. Maybe not, because these are all printed ones that I need to do still. Look at this. David Tennant one from Mystic Moon Media. Okay, I must not have it in here. But anyway, I colored with like tea and coffee and everything. So, ooh, maybe our next page, we should do something out of these ones that I have. Oh, see, this was the original Gamora. Oh, and Jason Momoa. This is a Lisa Matrokin one from Mermaid a few years ago. So here, I'll grab the Gamora one. Where is she? There it is. Okay, so this is what I turned it into. This is what it was. So, but yeah, I got loads of them in here. Playing a video game, you play all the side quests first, and then you finally go to the main quest, and they're giving you the beginner weapon and throw it away, right? Oh my gosh, that's what I did when I played Breath of the Wild, because I was more excited about the exploring and everything else. And so like I'm getting all of this experience and collecting things or whatever, because I just want, you know, when you have an open world gaming like that, you can kind of jump around, and that's what I did. And finally I was like, well, I guess I should probably do the quest line. So by the time I got to the quest line, I was like, well, this stuff I'm getting from the quest is kind of lame. I've already got, you know, good gear and everything, but it's like the game's looking at me like, come on, they're supposed to play the game, not jump ahead. I actually haven't finished it. There is a boss on there that I just got so frustrated with, Thunderblight Ganon. He's all over the place. Anyway, if you've played the game, you know what I'm talking about. But poor Link has been abandoned since I came across that boss. And we are all about video games here, so we love side quests. Let's get red wine, because I've got it a little bit more red here, and I want to balance that out. Let's see, that's barbecue. Ah, red wine. Here we are. But yeah. So yeah, it's going to be a super fun weekend. If I'm not in streams, it's because we are fully in the throes of fun family time. The kids are just so excited to have, you know, that's one thing, when none of their grandparents live around here and they don't get to see them on a regular basis, it's a pretty special thing when they get to come out here. And like I said, it's just nice that she's here. We can show her the house and show her around, see where Steve works, all that. I haven't even gotten to the boss levels yet because I'm busy doing side quests and I haven't touched the game in so long, right? Oh, that's the Disney Dreamlight Valley, right? I've heard so many good things about it. I haven't played it myself, but yeah, I'll be honest. Lately, when I've had the time, I'm doing Minecraft. It's so fun. I'm playing on a modded server, and there's so much cool stuff. And there may or may not be cannons. Amanda knows what it is. There may or not be cannons, and you can fire plushies out of the cannons, and then they land. We're having a lot of fun with that. Okay, I think I'm going to leave this panel as it is now, and we will probably add more to it when we get there. Let's do the frames. How are we doing on time? 11:47 already? Oh, that's what happens when I do loads of side quests. And like I said, my goal will be to catch up before we stream next week on Wednesday. That's the goal. All right, we're gonna see how that goes. So I'm just gonna use sepia all the way around because again, I want these to be darker than the ones that we have here. So we're gonna do sepia. But yeah, so now that everything's going to be kind of dying down a little bit because I finished that contracted project that I was doing like a month or so ago. So that's done. I'm hoping at some point I'll be able to share it with you guys. But I haven't taken on any new collaborations recently. So
Oh, can you hear me? Is it working? Let's test. You guys can hear me. I wasn't sure because I had to unplug the receiver. We have sound. There you go. I just got to type really loud and then we'll know if it's working. That was totally me. I was too excited. Since it's new, I'm still learning it, and I was too excited to get it up and use it for today, and so I just didn't take long enough to charge them. When they're fully charged, they're supposed to be able to go for 7 hours. So I'm really excited for that. I just got to make sure and charge them. And I need to explore the program that they're tied with. Either way, I really like it. As long as it doesn't die on me. But yeah, I was like, I wonder if I charge it for just a little bit. At the very least, I can say goodbye to him. Well, at least, you know, I wasn't like belching or something. Can you imagine? Oh my gosh. Have a good job, everyone. All right then. Well done. Going up 2 levels. All right, onward we go. I'm gonna guess the Q is fake because there's no U. 3 E's. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I'm gonna try that. Eeny. Eeny. That's totally a word. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. See, maybe this is better. Maybe it was better when I wasn't talking. Bye, Mona. Thanks for being here. What is that, though? 3 E's and 2 N's. Oh, cool. Yes. I will look after stream. I'm excited to see that. I love like inspiration on that wire wrapping. That's definitely become something I'm really enjoying on the side. Eminence. Eminence. There we go. I was trying too hard to put the double letters together. All right, so eminence. Well, we made our goal, so we'll be good there. Nice and mine. That means there's another. Oh, what about M-I-E-N? Yeah, there we go. And we've got 2 5-letter words, almost done. 6-letter word. I realized, I'm like, why can't I hear it? I never put my headphones back in after I was troubleshooting everything. There we go. Nice. All right, skip 3 levels. Ooh, nice with the niece there, Michelle. Well done. Okay, and continue. My instinct says the X, but I've been proven wrong before. Definitely not the S's. The S's are gonna be fine. Sane. Sane. There we go. Season. Nice, D. All right, so that means it definitely is a fake X. C's, yes. Oh, what about, sons? There we go. Ones, nice. Noses, yeah. Eons, nice. Oh, did we do? Oh no, there's no X. Okay. Sauce. So's. Oh, Eon, nice. Oh, that means I'm gonna piggyback Durban. Eons. Yay! All right, so 2 4-letter words and 2 5-letter words. One of those is going to start with an S. Could be an S-A or an S-E. S-A. S? Oh, Sans. Nice, Marilyn. Let's see. Eons. But hey, we made our goal. I'll take it. Nice. All right, advanced 2 levels. What do we have here? So far, our overall is Durban, Michelle, and Liz. And for this one, we have Durban, Connie, and Marilyn. Well done. All right, we have double L, double O. Let's see. Maybe try gold. Gold. Wood. Ooh, there we go. Okay, so I'm gonna guess the C is the fake letter. So doll. Oh, goodwill. Nice, Kara. So that is a hidden I. So a fake C and a hidden I. So wool. Wild glow. Nice. Ooh, gill. Nice. Will. Guild. Well done. Doggo with 1 G. Oh, Dill. That makes more sense rather than made up words. Let's see. Wild will. Oh. I? Oil? Let's see. Good. G-O-L, maybe G-O-L-O? Logo. Nice, Linda. Think of what the... But still, we made our goal. Advanced 2 levels. It's going to be level 15. All right, so Linda, Connie, Kara, well done. All right, so... letter and fake letter. Not very many letters to begin with. I'm going to try given. Fine, okay. So we need to clear. Okay, it's a fake V. A fake V. Maybe, let's see. Tinge. Dinge. Hinge. So no V. Could be an ing situation. Open. Oh, it's a fake. It's a hidden O. So fake V, hidden O. So it could be. Yeah, go fine. That works. Oh, nice. Opine. Opine. So what does that leave? That leaves the gone and nope. I like it. Pigeon. Nice, Michelle. My brain was not there for pigeon. All right, so we got 4 more 4-letter words. 2 of those are going to start with a P. So P. It's not going to be P-E, so it's probably P-I-N-O. Ion. Oh, interesting. The other one could be a P-O-E, P-O-G-E. Oh, P-O-N-E. There we go. Hey, skip 5 levels. That's going to put us up at level 20. That's a big jump. Butterflies, Linda and Michelle. Well done. That's a big jump. So I think the answers are going to be hidden now. Okay, so beware the fake letter and hidden. Oh, is it thinking? It's thinking. Oh my gosh. Okay, so it is gonna be, what is it? Thinking. What's the hidden? Is it another? Oh, it's a second N. Okay, so it is a fake. What is the fake letter? Oh, it's a fake E. A fake E. So a hidden N and a fake E. Okay, so we've got thinking. There we go. Hinting. Nice, Durbin. Okay, so we have 2 more 6-letter words and 1 5-letter words. We have night, thing, think, hiking, another night, hinting. Let's see. Ninth. Yes, ninth. Okay, so 2 6-letter words. So it could be, what about inking? Yes, okay, 1 more. Oh my gosh, if we jumped up to 20. Guys, we're gonna be at 25. I want to say our highest level has been 29. Right, Amanda? Exactly. All right, so Durbin, D, and Maryland, well done. All right, are we ready? It's going to be going faster, and there might be 2 fake letters on this one. Okay, are we ready? Are we ready? Okay, so there is a U, potential for maybe a hidden Q. I'm going to try junior. That's what I see first. Okay, that's not coming up, so let's see. It could be an ING, maybe rowing. Oh, what about ruining? Yeah, 2 fake letters and 1 hidden one on this one. Okay, so maybe the G is the fake one. We tried junior. Let's see. What could this be? Maybe just going. Oh yeah, butterflies tried going. Oh, joint. That was a good one. Durbin. What we get? Groin. Okay, so say that out loud. Which means the I is fake, which means it's probably a fake U and a fake J. So we're gonna have a hidden letter and an I. So maybe I think I'm thinking this wrong. No, so 2 I's and a hidden one. So Groini. Let's see. Because I think the U and the J are the fake ones. So I think definitely an ing. Oh, what about ironing? Ironing. Maybe? Oh, I thought for sure that was gonna be it. Let's see. Oh, Liz, what did Liz get? Oh no, Liz is using the QR code. Liz, what did you get? Okay, well, it's all gonna unlock. It's all gonna unlock here in a second. Everyone get your typing fingers ready. What do we got? Okay, so we got an S. So put that in plural. Here we go. Irons. Oh, this is, no, we can't. We can't do it. Oh, that was brutal. Oh, rising. Probably could have done rising. Oh my gosh. It's those 2 fake letters, man. That's rough. Oh, rinsing. Rinsing was probably it, Connie. Oh, that's good. All right, so let's see overall scores. We've got Durbin, Michelle, Linda. Well done for top 3 there. Marilyn, Liz, and Butterflies and Dee. Thank you, everyone who played. All right, well, now that the sound is working again, this was just a glitch. It shouldn't be like this again because I can figure things out and do stuff. But I plugged it in because I only charged it for maybe like 45 minutes before we went. So yeah, right. That was so good. That was so good. But I'm excited because the sound sounds good and it won't be at the mercy of Paul anymore. And I'll make sure it's fully charged. Because like I said, it'll go for 7 hours. So, but yeah, we didn't go as far, but we had a lot of side quests today. And that was such a fun story I wanted to share with you guys. So yeah, we will be spending time with family. But I couldn't even say like, oh, I'm going to cancel today so we can spend time with family. Because then you'd be like, well, what family? Like, again, I had to keep this all secret. So they're here. Everybody knows it's going to be a good weekend. But I will do my best to catch up a little bit. Wait, how did that happen? Restarted it. Did you guys hear that? Anyway, yes, exactly. We had so many fun stuff. I love showing you guys like all the beads. Like I said, it's not anything that I'm selling at this point. I just really enjoy. I mean, it says again, right? Thanks, Amanda. Although I'll probably be lurking in yours later tonight anyway. But yeah, so I'm gonna go. Everyone if you're celebrating Mother's Day, have a wonderful and lovely Mother's Day. Have a great weekend, everyone. We'll be back on Wednesday. My goal is to get caught up on squares, fix the Streamlabs bot, and get caught up on here. Please forgive me if I don't do all that. I'm going to try. Try is the operative word here. Okay, that's loud again. I turned it up while I was fixing things. Okay, anyway. All right, everyone. Have a fabulous weekend. Enjoy your Mother's Day if you're doing that. And thanks for being here and hanging out with me and dealing with all my technical difficulties. All right, everyone. I'll talk to you later. Find the button. My buttons aren't working. Okay, bye.